Dear friends, in today's class, we are going to start one of the important chapter, that's a pointer. We must be knowing first, pointer is a derived data type because without primary data type, pointer cannot be created. Hence, it is known as derived data type or user-defined data type or secondary data type. Pointer has the ability to hold the address of a variable because you should know that every variable which is stored in the memory has a particular address. If we want to display that address, then inside of variable name, means the left side of the variable name, we can put the ampersand. Ampersand is known as your address operator. If that variable's address we want to store, then we have to declare the variable that is known as pointer. That means when a variable is declared with a star mark, that is known as pointer variable, and the star mark itself is known as your pointer operator. Again I am repeating, as every memory that occupied by the variable has an address, and to view the address we use ampersand, and that address to be stored by the help of a variable that is known as your pointer variable. If a variable is declared with a star mark, that variable is known as your pointer variable, and star mark is known as your pointer operator. In other way, we can say pointer is used to allocate memory dynamically, means at the runtime how much memory is required, that much memory will be taken by the pointer. Unnecessary wastage of memory is avoided. How unnecessary wastage of memory is avoided, we have to explain in the different part of our pointer chapter. Here a small block of code is being written. Suppose I declare int v equal to 0, v is a variable, ordinary variable, occupy a space in memory. If I access v, then it will display 0. If I access ampersand v, it will display the address of that variable. Address may be anything else, because memory is made up of intersection of rows and column, and each particular memory cell having a particular address. If we can say what are the advantage of pointer, first advantage is we have not to write unnecessary code, means code reduction is possible, means maximum code we have not to write. As less codes are written, the performance of the pointer in the memory is better. And where the pointer is used, remember, we can use the pointer in array, in string, in structure, in function, in a data structure like a tree, graph, everywhere pointer is used due to the performance, as it reduces code, means in the less code we can achieve maximum. By the help of your pointer, we can return multiple value to a function. As you know, a function, a called function can return one value at a time, but if we want to return multiple value, that can be also possible by the help of your pointer. The second advantage. Third advantage is we can able to access any memory location randomly by the help of your pointer. Randomly means suppose there are 10 element, we want to access 9 element, 9 number location, then the 5, then 3, then 1 randomly. That can also be possible in the pointer. Again I am repeating, reducing the code increases the performance. Number 2, returning the multiple values, and the third one is accessing the element randomly from the memory. What are the uses of pointer? Pointer can be used in many applications. Remember, one of the important thing we have to use in the pointer, memory allocation at the runtime, that is known as your dynamic memory allocation. In the latter part we have to discuss which uses malloc and calloc respectively. Through the help of your dynamic memory allocation, we can allocate the memory at the runtime. How much memory we require, that much we have to take. We have not to wastage any memory area in the computer memory. That is possible by dynamic memory allocation. And again, the pointer we have to use in many chapters, secondary data types like array, function, structure, and in manywhere, in file handling, everywhere we have to use the pointer and take the benefit of the pointers. And one of the basic things you have to remember, those programming language having the pointer, that in that programming language you can develop the virus, and which program you develop by the pointer, that program or that application can be virus affected. Those programming language does not support pointer, that is not affected by the virus, and from that programming language virus cannot be developed. C is one of the programming language where the pointer is there, so why by the help of C you can develop the virus and your programs developed in C can be affected by the virus. Syntax of the pointer. How the pointer can be declared? You can declare data type pointer variable. Data type means integer, character, float, whatever you take, and pointer means the star mark followed by any variable. Here the PTR is written. Instead of a PTR you can take any variable, and which variable is declared with a star mark as a pointer, that variable has the ability to store the address of another variable. Because as I previously told, every variable occupy a memory, and that memory address can be stored by the help of your what? The pointer. Hence, the syntactical structure is data type and the pointer variable, where PTR is the name of the variable, pointer name of the pointer, data type is the type where the data is pointing to, means it may be integer, character, float, double, etc. Then how you have to use the pointer? There are the three important steps you have to follow while you are using the pointer. Number one is pointer declaration, number two is pointer initialization, number three is pointer dereferencing. What is pointer declaration? When you declare a pointer like a data type pointer variable, that is known as your declaration of pointer, because first you declare, then you have to use it. In pointer declaration, only we declare the pointer but not to initialize, because declaration and initialization is termed as initiation. We have to only declare the pointer variable. Pointer variable is special, then we have to use it. To declare a pointer, we use star for dereferencing the pointer. Star mark is declared for declaring a pointer of any type. Then pointer initialization. Initialization means how the pointer variable can hold the address. Pointer initialization is the process where we assign some initial value to the pointer. We generally use ampersand as the address operator to get the memory address of a variable, then store it into the pointer variable. Here, suppose we declare int var equal to 10, var is a ordinary variable, int pointer PTR, PTR is a special variable as a declaration, then we have to initialize PTR as pointer variable, which can hold the address of a var variable, and address can be accessed by the help of your ampersand. Means now PTR hold a special value that is known as your address value, which is belongs to the var variable. Then how to dereference the pointer? Dereference means how to access the value from the pointer. Dereferencing is a pointer is the process of accessing value stored in the memory address in the specified pointer. We use star for dereferencing the operator, which is used to access the value which is stored inside the pointer. See this diagram. Suppose var having a value 10, it has a memory location, and PTR has a value that has a memory location. PTR stores what? The address of variable. See, this address is stored as a value in PTR variable. If you access var, it will display 10. If you access PTR, then it will display this hexadecimal value as the address. If you access pointer PTR, then it will display the address whose value is stored here. That value will be accessed. Means whose address is stored in PTR? The var variable's address. If you give the dereferencing pointer means star, then it will display the value of a variable var. Means this is known as your indirect access of the var. Again I am repeating, if you store the address of a var in PTR, then if you access var, it will display 10. If you access PTR, it is display the address which is stored here. If you display pointers PTR as the dereferencing value in the pointer, then it will display the value whose address the PTR holds. PTR holds whose address? The var's address, and the value will be carried as a 10. In this way, we discuss pointer declaration, pointer initialization, and pointer dereferencing. Then we comes to remember that few points which is very important to you. Whenever a variable is defined in C language, a memory location is assigned for it in which a value to be stored. Already we discussed We can easily check the memory address by using ampersand symbol. If a variable is the name of the variable, then ampersand var will give the address. Again, few steps of example is given. Int my age is 43. If my age will access, then 43 will display. If I want to store the address of my age, then I can write int pointer ptr equal to ampersand my age. Means my age address will be stored in the ptr variable. You cannot directly write int ptr equal to ampersand my age. It will display the error. If you display printf ptr value, then it will display what? That is a address. Like this, a hexadecimal value as a bigger value, big set of digits. Instead, you can display the hexadecimal value, that is by default. For hexadecimal value memory representation address, you can write %lp. If you can give %ld, %lu, if adequate value is not present within that range, then it will display some garbage value as the minus value. Hence, it is better to take %lp to give the hexadecimal exact address of that specific memory. If we want to indirectly access the value inside PTR, then you can dereference operator pointer PTR. Means what it will display? Whose address stored in PTR, that value will display. Whose address stored? My age. Its value will display as a 43. Then we are writing a program, complete program, to represent how the memory address will be shown, how the value will be accessed. Suppose I have taken var equal to 7. If I access var, it will display 7. If I want to access the address, then we can give ampersand var. It will display address in hexadecimal form, for which %x is written, some extent %p is written, some extent it is %ld is written. Whatever the format specifier you want, you can give. Here we come to know that a variable's value displayed and a variable having an address, that is displayed. If we want to display that address, then we have to store it into a pointer variable, then we have to access it, which is explained in the next example. You see, this is the diagram. Suppose we declare a pointer variable ptr, this one. We declare num variable, this one, this one. PTR is taken a memory address, let assumption is 1080. Num is also taken a memory address, let the address is 1100. If we want to store the address of num inside a special variable pointer, then we write ptr equal to ampersand num. Num's address is 1100. Now ptr value becomes 1100. If we access num, what will be the value? That is 26. If we access pointer ptr, means whose address is stored, that value will display. PTR stores num's address and hence num's value will display, that is 26. This is known as your dereferencing pointer. Then what is the value of PTR? PTR stores the address of num and hence that address will be carried on. Whatever the address, maybe 1100, maybe 1080, whatever. Here it will display the value of PTR, which is 1100. If I display ampersand PTR, then what will display? The PTR's address will be displayed. Here it is written 1008, but really the address is 1100. That 1100 will be written here. Means this value, what is written here? Here num's address is 1100. 1100 is stored in a PTR, and if we access the PTR, then we will display what it will display, 1100. If you display pointer PTR, whose address is stored, that value will be displayed, and whose address is stored, num's address, and hence value will be 26. Num display 26, pointer PTR as a dereferencing, then it will display the value 26 because num's variable address is stored in PTR. If we display PTR, then what it will display? The address it holds, that will be displayed. If you want to run this program, move to online compiler or your editor. See here, I have previously written here. If I want to run it, then run the program, you will be getting the result. Num 26, then in dereferencing the value is 26, and finally a hexadecimal address will be displayed. If you give a %ld, then what happens? It will display a negative value because the address is bigger, which is not persist inside the value, that is integer is holding, and hence better you take it as the hexadecimal form. In this way, we discuss many important things in the pointer in today's class. In the next class, we are going to discuss many things inside the pointer, pointer arithmetic, character pointer, types of pointer, and in the latter part, dynamic memory allocation and many things. Thank you. I think today's session is essential to you and you understand. Those have not subscribed, kind subscribe the channel. Those have liked the video, kindly like the video. Having any remark or comment or doubt, please make the comment in the comment section. We try to solve your doubts, whatever may be. Thank you. See you in the next class.